Yeah, it was just pure patience from mid-game to late game. IG really, once they fell behind, they knew they had to wait for their chances. They gave up tower after tower, including a tier 3 towers for nothing. They finally found the chances to strike. They just waited it out. They showed, like you say, complete poise and just understanding of the game where it is. I mean, they did fall behind with some sort of execution mistakes, with some just sort of, I'd say, the way they laned it was slightly different and just their picks, but come mid to late game, they're understanding their overall play, which is absolutely top notch, the best in the world, and that's really where IG shine. And this is game number 2. This is must win for Orange to stay in this series. Loser of this match isn't out of the tournament though, because these teams did finish top 2 in their group. So Orange, even if they lose, they drop down to verse the winner of MUFC and Flash Esports.
Yeah, I'll show the bracket, but guys, as mentioned earlier, there's a bit of a mistake here. It's the loser of it's the winner of MUC versus Flash, not Tongfu versus EG, who plays the loser of this series. So aside from that, this bracket is correct. We're in round 2. Those top 4 teams skipped right ahead to it. I forgot to unmute my own microphone, so I'll just reiterate. This is game number 2 of IG versus Orange. I'm LD, of course. Joining me today is GoDz, and we're from Beyond the Summit. Together, we're David and David, and we're excited to be bringing you this game. IG, they get chuan Jakiro again. I honestly think this hero might be on the same level as the Bounty Hunter in terms of what a priority it is not to give to IG. He had a twin-headed dragon game at the end of the group stages where he was 0-0 and 19, which is pretty much the ideal situation for a support. Can he do it again? This is going to be tough, but hey, GoDz, like you said, they get the Naga Siren, and this is a very annoying hero to play against.
Yeah, Naga Siren picked up very early. I mean, receiving some nerfs, but still easily viable as a pick in general. And I think the bigger thing here is the Queen of Pain once again going to be picked up, going to go into the hands of Mushi. So quite likely it's going to be Yamateh playing the farming role, playing the Naga Siren. It was the Chaos Knight last game. Maybe going to see him on the Naga Siren this game, as Mushi just loves his Queen of Pain. And
wow.
I think it's not going to be your sort of carry type Naga Siren. It's going to be the tanky frontlines Naga Siren with Lincoln Sphere, Heart of Tarrasque, and just look to get as tanky as possible. And well, IG, they go with what worked last game. They're going to stick with the Night Stalker, stick with the Jakiro. The only mix-up is this Darkseer pick.
And I just want to make sure, might want to toggle your microphone. Some people are saying they don't have sound. I'm not sure if that was just because I forgot to mute my own mic. But either way, I like this Naga Siren pick better than the Chaos Knight because Yamateh will get farm on this hero. It's a much better farming hero in general than Chaos Knight. It also doesn't put as much pressure on them to crush the laning stage. Although you would love to do that, you don't want IG to go into the mid-game 50-50 with you, but at the same time, it seems like it's so difficult to crack IG, even with that start, that you'd better be prepared to take it late, and this is a great hero to do it with. That allows Mushi to be more of that DPS hero, and sort of the one position in a sense, at least in terms of being the hero that's expected to carry, whereas, like you said, Naga going to be that tanky frontline initiator support almost, in a sense. Getting a lot of farm. I like this follow-up as well. They get the Lina, who, with the new Laguna Blade, gives you some great burst damage, and that's really what you need against heroes like Jakiro Nightstalker. You don't want them to stay alive in team fights. You don't want multiple silences coming out. You don't want multiple ice paths to land, and this ultimate, if she gets a good start, could really help deal with that.
Yeah, this, I feel, is one of those heroes which can, I mean, either on the front foot, looking to get aggressive with a hero like Lina, or on the back foot. If a hero overextends, goes running in like a Night Stalker, you hit the stun, you follow it with the burst damage coming from Queen of Pain, Lina's Laguna Blade. Burst damage is a nice way of dealing with Night Stalker, because if you're chipping away to him, he can get in, get out so fast because of the movement speed. So Lina's a hero who can cope well if she's in the right position, if she's not the one getting initiated on, and if Night Stalker does play too aggressive. Last game, though, Ferrari really just sort of knows the exact time to go in and out, and it's going to be tough for Orange. It's going to be, especially without Ice, who's been playing throughout the group stage for them. It is with their KYXY, who is their sixth man, so a player they're very familiar with, but it is a player who sort of forces them to adjust their playstyle.
It does. This I find very interesting. IG ban out the Sven. To me, this suggests they're very worried about a tri-lane. Because they already have a Naga and a Queen of Pain who obviously need to get some farm, and Sven's not really a strong solo, so he'd have to be a part of a duel or a tri-lane, and I guess IG's afraid of exactly that. Now, if they want to be aggressive, there's still an Enchantress, there's still a Chen. There's still some other decent initiators, but we have seen that the Sven in IG's hands can make a great tower diver, also a pretty strong defensive hero against Night Stalker's physical damage. So this is an interesting ban. It's IG ban out here if they've used to great effect. What do you expect to see from both of these teams the rest of the draft, though? Orange, they've got two other farmers. They got some strong AoE. How do they round out their lineup? And then for IG, no carry yet. Doesn't look like they have Zhou's hero. What are each of these teams going to do the rest of the way?
Yeah, Zhou last game, it was the Necrolite. They can go that route again. I don't know if they want to with the Darkseer. Darkseer is already going to be the hero who can get the pipe. They don't need someone to carry those around. They probably want something a bit more mobile, a bit more aggressive, because Darkseer, sure, you've got the Surge, and you can use that to help out your team, to help chase. I think they want to go something a bit more carry and just DPS oriented than an actual Necrolite here. As for what we're looking at, I mean, maybe something like a DK, maybe even going for a hard carry like an Anti-Mage, but I just feel that another Necrolite would be not the way to play this. And then you got this support. Maybe we see Faith once again playing the Shadow Demon, which he just played absolutely fantastic late game. And Orange themselves, I mean, they've got their solo, their carry. They need an offlane hero, they need a support, or maybe a jungle hero. And Chen last game was really one of those key heroes for them in the early game. I'd really like to see them pick up a Chen, or maybe even an Enchantress. Go offensive with a Trilane, with an Enchantress, Naga Siren, Lina. Maybe an offensive Trilane with a Lina, Naga Siren, and one other support. There's something like a Shadow Demon could be very, very powerful.
Oh yeah, there's also a Keeper of the Light, which we've seen a lot of teams favor when you have Naga. You have that net, you have got the follow-up stun with Lina, and then you get some big burst damage. That gives you time to channel the Illuminate. It's also here IG have run. I think we've seen them use it as a suicide lane solo, and that is a component of a defensive dual lane to punish aggressive tri-lanes and to just sort of turtle up in the laning stage. So Keeper of the Light, a hero that would have been available, but Orange are going to wisely ban it out. I really like this because it's not just the Keeper of the Light, it's the lineup they get him in. They get him with a Darkseer and a Jakiro. So you already have Vacuum to set up the Jakiro's Ice Path to set up that big AoE damage from him, and that Illuminate can kind of just be what sort of pushes you over the top in a team fight. And IG still worried about the tri-lanes. They ban out the Undying. And also a great counter gank.
First game as well. Yeah, it's first game as well. They banned it out. I think they're just worried about. I'd put Undying in that sort of cheese strategy, those gimmicky strategies, which just sort of you pull out every now and then to try get yourself an easy win by going for that group up and push, or just having a really annoying aggressive tri-lane. So they banned it out game 1. They banned it out in game 2. It's a hero that N9 used quite frequently in the group stage as well. When they did manage to win, it seemed the only way they could actually win games was with the Undying. But I guess it's, IG are worried about it here with this new version, and with Orange being such an early game aggressive team.
Let's see how the rest of the draft shakes out. All the bans are complete. Time to tip your hands. What will Orange go for? If they want to run the tri-lane, there are still some strong here. Whoa! I actually love this. I've laned against Nyx Assassin as Night Stalker. I don't know if we're going to see the matchup, but even in the mid game, it is super annoying, especially for an AoE here like Jakiro or Darkseer as well. What do you make of this pick? Is this a component of a tri-lane? Is it one of their solos? Who the hell is it the off lane for KYXY? What do you make of this?
Yeah, either offlane hero or I think it's more likely going to be their other support hero. I think. I mean, I remember when Nyx his Scarabs were first replaced by the spiked Carapace. I was thinking, okay, it could be a strong side lane hero. Whenever you get ganked, you just pop that in and try get the hell out of there. But I feel that he just doesn't get near the farm. I mean, sure, you can use it to stay alive, but you're never getting farm or XP. So I think more likely this is their secondary support. Interesting that they picked this up. I mean, I guess it's just a strong counter gank. You can't really go on the Nyx because of the spiked Carapace, and there's just so many useful ways you can incorporate that into your lineup. But I'm surprised they go for that. If they want to go offensive Trilane, I feel like there's slightly better options. If they want to use it for the stun, you can get something like an Earthshaker, but maybe it's going to be a solo. There's your hero for Zhou. That's going to be that's what you want for your Jakiro. You need some additional DPS. I don't think the Necrolite cuts it. You go for the Shadow Fiend.
I love this, and I know you didn't get to cast the game, but IG has run this before in this tournament. They ran it against EG, and Zhou had me flashing back to perfect as shit to some Yaphit's level play. I want to say he missed maybe one Shadow Raise the entire game, possibly a few more than that, but it was borderline perfect, and Orange finished it off with a Slardar, a hero that is, well, we've seen DK pick it to counter Bounty Hunter in the laning stage, and also just to give them a great mid-game tower diver and chaser. This is their gap closer. They have a lot of heroes who love to be in the middle of the fight now. Nyx Assassin, Slardar especially, and to a lesser extent the Naga Siren. A very farm-dependent lineup and level-dependent for Orange, but look at the chain stun. This is Stun City if they can get to the mid-game intact.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different options for Orange. We've seen Naga Siren even played as support especially by some of the Southeast Asian teams. Singapore and Malaysian teams were using as a support frequently in Dota 1. I think more likely it's going to be a farmer here with the Nyx as a... Well, I guess Nyx goes into that secondary support with the Slaughter, but wow, this is very unexpected picks coming out from Orange with the Slaughter as well as the Nyx Assassin. I think this is something they maybe came up with as something to try out against a team like IG, because against IG you've got to go to something different, something to catch them by surprise.
Well, everything completely standard from IG. Zhou on the Shadow Fiend, Tidehunter being handled by Faith, and we'll actually give you some camera vision of them as well. YYF on his signature offlane. Well, heck, every offlane here is a signature one for YYF. Who am I kidding? Zhou on the Shadow Fiend, Chuan on the Jakira, and Ferrari on the Night Stalker. Looks to be a safe lane Shadow Fiend. Probably just protected... Well, I guess a tri-lane with that Shadow Fiend. YYF is a solo offlane, and Ferrari mid. Maybe we'll even see Chuan rotate in to help that middle lane. The big mystery is what is Orange going to do with the lanes? They have Xtinct on the Nyx, generally playing that hard support role for the team. Huh, what do you make of these picks? How are they going to lane this? And it's a Mushi Slardar and a KYXY Queen of Pain, so no Mushi Queen of Pain this game.
I think they decided Queen of Pain is the hero that's just most suited to KYXY, so they're almost forced to put him onto that, which is one of the limitations of this roster for them. But yeah, KYXY Queen of Pain, you've got Ice playing the support lane. I mean, the roles more or less are expected coming out from Orange once you see the Nyx being played as support. I mean, Xtinct proving that he's maybe sort of like the puppy of Southeast Asia here with these picks as well as his heroes. I mean, the way he plays Chen last game, now he's playing a Nyx Assassin as well, something which, well, Puppy managed to pull out and not do all too well with that TI2, so hopefully Xtinct has something different in mind here, but this is, I guess tri-lane with the Nyx, Lina, and Naga Siren. Maybe they go offense... Well, sorry, not Naga Siren, but yeah, how do they do this? With Slaughter and the Naga Siren, one of those heroes maybe has to be played as a solo, and I feel that's going to be the Slaughter playing it as a solo mid. Mushi going to be going up against Night Stalker in the mid lane. KYXY is going to be in the safe lane against the Darkseer, and then they go offensive tri-lane maybe. That's how I feel Orange are going to try play this. They go offensive tri-lane to catch IG out a bit, and then they try have these matchups in the solo lanes. Maybe. I mean, Slaughter does pretty well against Night Stalker. Queen of Pain does pretty well against Darkseer.
Yeah, or even what we see right now, which is similar to what you were talking about. Put Mushi in the safe lane, pull him some regen, he'll start with a Quelling Blade and a Stout Shield. Makes it easier to last hit against Darkseer. You can also just kill off those creeps that have Ion Shell on them a bit quicker. And so he'll be soloing, he'll still be getting a 1v1. It's not against Night Stalker, it's against Darkseer. He'll struggle a bit, but with the pulled regen, he should be able to farm in this lane. And on the tri-lane, it's a tri-lane against a Shadow Fiend. The question is, if they want to win this tri-lane, they got to ward off those pulls. That's how the Chinese teams always beat offensive tri-lanes, is just with very smart pulling, really defensive positioning from those supports. Orange is not opting to get aggressive, though. They're not rushing into the jungle. In fact, they only have, well, they have one Observer Ward left in 2 sentries. How many camps can they ward? If they don't ward these camps, it's going to be a little bit tough to find kills.
Yeah, I think they're afraid to go into that jungle. They know IG want to protect those pools, that IG will be looking to counter ward them, and Faith going to probably want to put up a high ground ward here near this top rune spot, and with that, they'll spot Orange coming on up. And this is not really the creeps haven't even spawned, but I feel Orange with this top lane could be in a bit of trouble with all the pools that are going to be coming out, and with IG already having this positional advantage. They see everything going on with these heroes near the top lane.
This will help. Xtinct can now use this illusion rune to scout. You can also block the camps with it, or yamateh, whoever chooses to pick it up. Notice how he waits to pick it up. He wants to maximize the lifetime, maybe even get 2 camp blocks if he's really smart about it. Yep. Also allows them to safely breach the high ground. This is smart play by Orange, and a little bit of luck, but
early D ward.
And an early D ward. That's big.
Yeah, very, very useful way there. Nyx is even microing his illusion so that Faith doesn't kill it off, so that he can make sure he blocks this pull. He's going in now. Whoop, doesn't get in time, so the small camp spawns. That's the big thing here. They're blocking all these camps here as much as possible, trying to either do it manually with the illusions. And that's something we've seen in the past, where teams will just manually block these pulls, pretending it's warded, and it catches teams by surprise. The problem is they don't get that small camp, so IG's Faith does manage to get that one pull off.
And Zhou getting an okay start here. 2 denies already. yamateh only 1 to 2 denies for him now. So even so far, they're going to fall behind if they don't start getting kills. And, well, the body blocking in place. They do block that standard pull camp again. They also dewarded this rune, and they've made sure that there's not a lane ward, so they want to get aggressive. Ooh, did he just try to... He thought the hero was hiding in the trees. Actually just wants to clear a path. I love this from Ice. The great sort of train to freedom. I think we saw Zenith doing this at the International, was just eating their way through the trees to set up some early kills in that suicide lane as the Radiant. And, well, they've got another path to work with now. Faith just playing so... Look at the defensive position, not just from Faith, but from everyone. Chuan is sitting really far back. As long as that ice path is there, it makes it really hard to jump in.
And it's that spot there makes it so much easier to harass these heroes under their tower. If you've only got the creep waves there, it's so much harder. They're actually they're gonna go in. I'm not sure about this decision here. Lina not gonna get the stun off in time with Ice Path coming in. I feel with the defensive positioning of Zhou, I don't think Orange actually have all that much DPS coming out here. I mean, it's a level 2 Naga Siren. Sure, you've got 1 point in the Riptide, but with the level 1 Impale, level 1 stun, they need more levels. They need more DPS.
Like you said, they think the camp's warded, so they place down a sentry ward, or maybe just that a ward's nearby and their vision is spotted. And either way, or maybe even interesting. I think this ward blocks the camp, so that was all just about just making sure the Radiant don't have a lane ward, don't have too much vision near this camp.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the kind of composed start I've come to expect from them. Even last game didn't go all too well for them, but so far this top lane, they're playing defensive. They've done that right, but just some of this dewarding, some of these small little decisions they've made haven't been quite like the IG of the past here. And we'll quick look at some of these other lanes. Mid lane, you've got the Night Stalker up against Queen of Pain. kyxy already with a nice little CS lead there. He's got denies as well as farm. He's put a lot of harass onto Ferrari. He's gone for the very early bottle. I mean, this is what you've got to do against a ranged harasser, and he's just going to use the nukes. He can use it to farm, and he can just use it to sustain himself against the Queen of Pain.
Also, Slardar, Mushi is up to 700 gold. He's actually purchased something, I believe. No, sorry, I'm just doing math wrong in my head, but he's getting close to a Rain of Health or Tranquil Boots. And once you get some sort of HP regen item, maybe even a bottle, but ferrying that bottle to this lane might not be feasible, since kyxy is probably going to want to use the courier occasionally. Even with one of those items, suddenly the Ion Shell doesn't bite that hard. You can just heal up in between creep waves. And that means Mushi can get a lot of farm in this lane. He's already farming really well.
I think this will be a lane where they just trade farm, so it's a smart decision. Send a hero into that safe lane who normally cannot solo against most off-lane heroes, but against the Darkseer with the pooled regen, he's going to be doing much better at the bottom lane, and it's a hero that can have a big impact on the mid game as an initiator with the stun. Similar to Darkseer though, so I feel it's not something that IG have to worry about. They've got the Darkseer who's going to get pretty much a free farm. He'll get up that fast, either mech or pipe. Pretty much uncontested this bottom lane, get the levels as well, so it's not really a thing where IG are like, holy crap, we've got this Slardar beating our Darkseer. It's an even trade, and both heroes can have equal sort of impacts in the mid game depending on how the teams try to play this.
I feel like this tri-lane entirely hinges on Chuan. If he hits really good ice pads, and not just hitting multiple heroes, but doing so at the right time when Orange is forced to commit to a tower dive before they get kills. We saw it already saved their lives earlier, because that Lina Light Strike Ray was going to hit 2 heroes until the Ice Path came in, canceled it in the middle of the cast animation, and then by the time she was able to get it off, it was too late. For me, this top lane, it's the pulls are important, and we've talked a lot about those, but to me, it's all up to Chuan. If he hits big Ice Paths, that's going to win them the lane, and then maybe Ferrari coming in helping out as well, but Chuan, so far, he's been absolutely superb on this Jakiro, and I'm curious to see if they can actually find a way to get past his defenses and find some picks. Shadow Fiend is squishy if you can get to him.
Well, they're going to try their best to rattle IG. So far, they've managed to prevent them from getting this ward properly blocked here at the top lane. Actually, there we go. There's a ward being dropped by Ice, and it's outside that sentry range as well, so really smart warding from him. And the tree's being cut down. That's just another thing to rattle IG, make them have to play a bit unorthodox and play a bit differently here in this top safe lane.
I'm a little surprised they haven't been pulling this camp, the camp that's directly south of that Tier 1 tower. You can pull this as the Radiant and keep the creep equilibrium a little bit off kilter for IG, get some experience, get some levels. Fate's about to hit 2, Chuan already there, and Zhou getting close to 3, and those level 2 Shadow Raises can be pretty dangerous. The big dive bottom, YYF not going to find the kill, but now he can also just start backstabbing the creep wave. Oh, in fact, the courier just slips by. Almost. Oh, YYF, is he going to go for it? He's not going to be able to kill this off. Now it's flying. Or is he? Surges in. This is a wild goose chase. I don't think he can get it. It'll be
I'm not sure. I mean, even if he reaches up to hit it, he's going to have to hit it, I believe, 3 times to kill it. So not the best choice to chase it. It was actually a ground courier when it came out. It was at the tower as a ground courier. Mushi was something like, holy crap, probably yelling at his supports, upgrade the courier this second. And that's actually something different from Dota 1 to Dota 2. You can't upgrade the couriers to flying couriers when they're not at base in Dota 1. But here in Dota 2, that's something they've changed and probably just saved that courier's life there.
I'm okay with it simply because a courier kill is such a big deal in this in the past few versions since you get so much gold for it. Mushi almost died there as well, so that was a little bit dangerous for him. This is a critical moment for Orange. They only have a level 1 Nyx Assassin. He doesn't have Spike Carapace. Chuan goes in first. He's already used the Ice Pet. This might be a good time to jump in. How good will the raises be? First one whiffs. A miss from Zhou to start this off, but a double raise. And the Anchor Smash first blood. Oh, claimed by IG, and the Ice Path will connect. Yamateh dropping low. Xtinct being driven back. Did not have that did not have that Spike Carapace. Could have turned the fight a little bit differently. Chuan will drop. 1 for 1 so far. Xtinct trying to run away from this. Will he be able to escape? Yamateh tanking like a boss, has 10 wand charges. He's baiting. He's waiting. He wants to turn this one around. He's got the net. He's going to pop the wand momentarily. I'm not sure what he's waiting for. It's going to come out. Finally, at long last, he drops it, but Zhou brings him low. The Riptide. Oh, will it be enough? He's juking so well. Turns around, and Zhou will clean him up in the end. Oh, if only they had the level 2 on the Nyx Assassin there. I feel that fight goes completely differently.
Yeah, big scuffle at top lane. That was really just all over the place. So many heroes getting so low. Amazing play from Yamateh, just knowing his limits on the Naga Siren, just still fighting even on low HP, no mana. He knew that they didn't have the damage to kill him off, and Zhou didn't have the mana as well. So really smart decision making at top lane there by Orange, holding their ground and fighting rather than, once they lose one, most teams would just look to run, cut their losses, but that would have just been a bad trade for them. So Orange, I feel that goes okay for them. When you've got this offensive trial and you need it to work out, and they forced Shadow Fiend to go back, heal up, get his next level of items up, and he's gone for a bottle here just because of how low in HP and mana he is.
Yeah, also the 2 solos are winning their lanes, or at least Mushi's breaking even against the Darkseer, which as a melee hero can be a bit challenging. kyxy is crushing this middle lane, 29 and 13, has gone for the early null talisman just to get a little bit of extra damage and ensure that he gets the last hits, and Ferrari spamming that bottle, some harassment from him. It's a level, he has gone for the ult at level 6, just going for... only going for single point Shadow Strike, less harassment, but more ability to impact that top lane when he shows up. And I feel for Orange, trading levels works in their favor until Tide gets 6, at which point that is not such a good trade, but having the level 2 or 3 on heroes like Nyx Assassin, Lina, and actually he's gone for Mana Bird, he hasn't actually taken a point in Spike Carapace, but having more levels up until level 6 on the Naga Siren, the Lina, and the Nyx Assassin, you benefit more. It's better to have those levels than something like a level 2 Gush, I feel.
Yeah, I think that's why I was surprised Orange were looking for those kills really early on when they were still just level 1. Having Lina with level 3, level 4, same with the Naga Siren, same with the Nyx Assassin, is just crucial in this top lane. So they're in no rush to get these kills. The problem is even when they get the levels, it's really hard against the defensive Ice Path coming out from the Jakiro. So it's going to come down to just timing it, being patient, and not trying to rush the kills like they've somewhat done in the past already.
I'm really curious if Mushi is going to get a bash here. If he does, YYF should die. The Slytherin Crush is cooling down. He's actually pretty low, and a solo kill in this lane would be absolutely massive, but YYF is surging away. Will there be a bash? Mushi's not even going to go for the auto tech. Meanwhile, Yamateh posting up in the top lane. No commitment from the rest of the supports, and are they going to... These trees are going to respawn soon. I wonder if they'll kill them off again. Shadow Fiend hits level 5, so Zhou does get access to those level 3 nukes, which, if landed properly, will completely blunt the aggression, and he's got some good setup with the Ice Path. Well, let's see.
Bottom lane. Ferrari's found a haste rune, and he's on the move now. It's nighttime, and kyxy didn't get the rune at top lane, and this is not good for Mushi. His bottle's coming back out on the courier, but it's heading towards mid lane. Both Queen of Pain and Slat are trying to bottle Crow. Just one courier is just not going to be enough for him. It's not going to cut it, and Mushi's going to get found maybe fairly soon. If Ferrari's going to reveal himself, going to go looking here, Mushi has to try hide in these trees, and it looks like he's done it. He's managed to juke him out.
Meanwhile, top lane Faith is going to drop the tri-lane, gets aggressive. The Ice Path will not connect. Zhou hits 1 raise, 2 raises, needs 1 more auto tech. Not enough damage, but they're forced back. Meanwhile, the kill does finally happen. They catch him out. They pick him off. Xtinct has a point in Spike Carapace. May need to use it soon. Zhou doing a pretty good job with these raises. Wildly missing on that one. Maybe expecting him to come back in. There's the Riptide. There's the Chain Stun. Want to bring down Chuan. It will go. Zhou gets stunned by the Spike Carapace, and now the Light Strike away. The follow-up. Can they bring him down? They've got the net. The long-range net. There's another nuke. Is Ice going to find the kill? Double kill for Ice. Fantastic play in the safe lane from Orange. But they do give up the tier 1 bottom, so IG trading pretty well. Just so much action. 8 kills at 7 minutes. So far, the tri-lane is doing pretty well. And miraculously, you said Yamateh was playing really well in the previous fight. He played twice as well in that fight. Incredible decision-making from him.
The coordination and decision-making from Orange in this tri-lane is just immaculate. They're really just executing so well in offensive trialing. Against a team like IG, doing an offensive trialing is probably one of the hardest things in the world. It's one of the highest risk strategies that there is to going offensive trialing, and they're making it work. The problem is, Mushi, that's 2 deaths in a row at this bottom lane, and that's not something you want to see happening.
Oh man, go to check bottom, the kill's already happened. Go to check top, the kill's already happened. And Lina gets picked off, so 2 heroes dead now. Yamateh, level 5, doesn't have access to that sleep yet. We still haven't seen kyxy get active around the map. He's going to TP in bottom and just farm. I don't like using this TP just to get out to the lane and farm. You really want to have it to counter gank, because speaking of ganking, Yamateh is going to actually dodge away with the Riptide double damage picked up by the Nightstalk on the bottom side of the map. Nice job there using the illusions, the mirror image to help him escape, and just one of those small components of playing a hero like Nagasard well is not just spamming that ability, not just using it to farm or harass, but making sure you save it for the right moment to dodge some spells to confuse them. When are we going to see this Queen of Pain gank, though? Slardar's been shut down a bit. I'm not sure Mushi can really be the one to do it, but for the moment, she's just farming.
Yeah, just looking to, just trying to sustain herself as much as possible in the mid lane. Now goes towards the bottom lane, kyxy. He hasn't, just farming, like you said, and I feel that's something which Orange can't afford to do too much. I think we'll see a similar thing to last game, where the Queen of Pain started playing as the main farmer, the main carry. Slider's just going to look to tank up, go for those initiation items, especially with this bad start from Mushi. We're not going to be seeing him play that main carry, so kyxy will have a TP scroll, will be ready to come counter gank, but he's not going to be looking to sort of lead the ganks himself.
Look at the positioning in this top lane, and by positioning, I mean the total absence of heroes in this lane. They're going to get a tier 1 mid, which is a pretty huge trade, a pretty huge victory for Orange, and IG just not in position to defend this. The Naga illusions being such a nuisance. If Mushi gets the last hit, that's going to be pretty big for him, and he will claim it. I'm guessing power treads. Are we going to maybe see a Blink Dagger rush this game? What do you think as far as items go?
Yeah, either treads into his Blink Dagger, or even with a straight Blink Dagger. Maybe he decides they just need the initiation so they can get aggressive, take some fights here. You've got Naga Siren as well as Queen of Pain, 2 farm-heavy heroes. Naga Siren who can share some of that load in the front line. So yeah, maybe Mushi just goes full initiating, rushes the Blink Dagger. Treads along the way, probably going to be a good decision for him, though. It's
worth pointing out, they ran an offensive tri-lane, and both of the supports in that lane are almost level 6, which are 10 minutes in. It's pretty big, bottom lane.
They're looking for Queen of Pain. Ooh, blinks into the tree.
Oh, the vacuum catches her. kyxy is trapped, and now silence absolutely at the last possible moment. YYF maybe waiting to see if she'd poke her head out or if you could hear that blink, but in the end, gets away. And a haster in left top. This will be picked up by Mushi. Is it time for them to get aggressive in that top lane? It's still nighttime, and there is a no TP scroll in Ferrari, so maybe it's the moment. Mushi's going to come in with that haste. He wants to go. And who's he going to find? He's going to find Ferrari, and probably should just back at this point. Very passive play. Also, Faith is only level 4, so he's actually behind those other supports on the enemy squad in this lane. Not going to have Ravage for a little bit.
Yeah, and IG playing very blind. They haven't got much vision up on this map. Ice has done a fantastic job de-warding everything. IG have denied vision behind the tower with a sentry ward, but it's still IG. They don't know where the movement coming from here is like the Slider is happening. And Slider coming towards his top lane. IG are expecting something. Pressure onto the Shadow Fiend is really the most likely thing coming their way. And Observer gets dropped. Hasn't been... There we go. Gets spotted. And Orange immediately go in. They want Faith. Faith has no points in Kraken Shell. He gets dropped. Mushi going to chase in, looking for more, and this is not the kind of fight IG were after. Carifest is going to try to keep xtinct alive, not going to manage to do so. IG have turned around, picking up 1 kill, going to look for a second, going to look for Lina. Queen of Pain, here's kyxy, he's taken so much time farming, finally shows up, gets a big ultimate. Now the Song of the Siren trying to buy them some time. This does not bode well for IG.
Oh, what a time to slither and crush. Use the Naga ult to set it up, and Faith's joined the fight again. He's going to drop again. Almost certainly in comes Ferrari, but I feel this is much too late. Where's that amplified damage? Ferrari dropping low. Ferrari may die as well. Is Orange really going to have this kind of a start again? Mushi with the double kill. 1,300 gold up on him, and they're about to get their second tier 1 of the game. And this is the weakness of that Darkseers, just doesn't offer you that much until later as a side lane solo, until you get the wall up, and really until it gets to level 2. In fact, Chuan might be in a bit of a pickle. Here comes the next level of TPs, though. It's about to be that Shadow Fiend joining the fight. Chuan chasing Yamateh. Yamateh has the SWAT, is going to TP out. Will they be able to stop it? Nope, that Vice Pass still on cooldown for another 3 seconds. Unbelievable fight, and the best news, I think, of all is that xtinct's about to hit 6, so they now have a fantastic initiator who can give them vision and set up the kills for this Queen of Pain and Slardar.
Well, Queen of Pain only narrowly died. The top tier 1 tower does get denied, but it's still IG. That's not the kind of fight they wanted, not how they imagined that one going with that cannon gank of theirs. And even with Darkseer having up this, he's gone for this fast mech. I'm not sure if he actually had it that fight, else it may have been a different story, but Orange showing just incredible timing of their skills. I mean, Naga Siren didn't pop the ultimate too early. He actually used it to buy time for Slider to get the stun back up. High time for the Queen of Pain as well. And here we go. Orange once again. The coordination looking for YYF. He's got the mech. Saves himself down to about 70 HP. It's Faith who's going to take the fall with a DD rune on ice. He's doing so much right-click damage. And Faith drops. Keeps YYF alive, but Orange is finding kill after kill, it seems.
And we're seeing a couple of heroes that really can deal with this Night Stalker in the mid game, and I love this immediate smoke up. They're going to charge towards the enemy jungle. They know that that Shadow Fiend is trying to get farm. And he's not going to be here. Chuan should be dead. Mushi about to be caught. Blink in into the Shadow Strike and the Crush to follow. Amplified damage is applied. The TP in again, but they're TPing after heroes are dead. Can they even fight this? This is going to be a huge turnaround. YYF may die. There come the Razes. Vacuumed away from the Razes. Now the Impale onto Zhou. There's still no Ravage. He's not going to have it for this fight. They're just getting picked off one by one. Never mind, he does because of the hero kill. Faith gets the Ravage. Crush onto 2. Mushi trying to run. In comes Yamateh. No sleep with the net onto YYF to keep him in place. Hold him down. Xtinct running away. KYXY unloads, the shotgun explodes, and oh my god, look at the HP on the Slarter and the Nyx Assassin. Yamateh now turning this fight around to Zhou. Buy back. I guess he never died during the fight. Wow. Now the Urn applied on the Yamateh, the Void to go the other way. That ult is cooling down. Yamateh is going to be caught. Absolute insanity breaks loose. 28 kills in 14 minutes. Gods, I thought Asian Dota was all about farming for an hour.
I don't know. I don't know what's happened with these teams, but apparently farming heroes is the new meta game. IG knows it, Orange knows it, and this game is just suddenly in the last 2 minutes just really up the notch, and it's scary the amount of aggression coming from both these teams. Huge team fights going both ways. I mean, the Tide hitting that level 6 mid team fight looked like IG had won the fight, but 2 heroes just surviving on like less than 100 HP for Orange, and somehow Orange walk away without too big a losses there.
If he didn't hit level 6 in that fight, that's probably Orange team wiping IG. That's how important that Ravage was. Oh boy, I loved the aggression from Orange, and just had to dive a little bit too far to pick off that twin-headed dragon. If Mushi had a blink there, if he maybe just had his sprint maxed out, which I think he only just got, maybe he gets there before the twin-headed dragon makes it to the safety of the tower. At the same time, IG had a bit of luck of their, or a bit of bad luck of their own, that the vacuum pulled them away. Oh, bottom lane, it's YYF dropping low. Chain stun not quite there, so he'll be able to surge away. But is Orange is in a pretty good spot right now. They can just start split pushing with the Naga, the Queen of Pain, and they have so many defensive sort of getaway heroes. I don't know if IG's going to be able to shut all these heroes down.
Yeah, there's so many targets for them, and this is going to be IG. I feel this is similar to last game. They're being forced onto the back foot. The difference is they've got a Shadow Fiend, a hero with much more late game DPS, but not quite the same survivability and, I guess, utility. I mean, the Necrolite with that ultimate was just crucial for them last game. Shadow Fiend's a hero who can be shut down a lot better than a Necrolite come late game as far as how well you stop him from farming.
Right, and it's also here, you just focus him. You have your Spike Carapace, you have your Amplified damage, you've got the net which goes through BKB to hold him in place, even if he chooses to use it, and just constant pressure on this top lane. Yamateh knows that they have to commit quite a few heroes to kill him off, and even if he dies and it takes something like a Ravage, it takes 3 and 4 heroes. KYXY is farming mid, the safe lane is being farmed by Mushi and Xtinct, although now they're going to journey towards that middle lane, and BKB is coming soon for Mushi. Just wants to get as tanky as possible. They're going for mass BKBs. KYXY is getting close to one. Once you have 2 or 3 BKBs, how does IG fight against that? It's just the wall that can really deal with it, and even then, you can't vacuum those heroes in. Ravage won't affect them. If Orange play their cards right, once they have these 3 BKBs, I think they can just start winning fights, and there's nothing IG can do about it.
Well, IG's plans to get some BKBs of their own with Zhou as well as Ferrari on that Night Stalker, both trying to build some BKBs, but they seem to be further away from them, and it's less crucial for them. They've got a smoke up at bottom lane. Ferrari finds one. It looks like it's going to be Mushi who they're going to try going, but he immediately pops the sprint. He gets out of there. IG wastes a lot of time heading towards bottom. They're looking for an opening, looking for a pick-off into a team fight now that the Ravage is back online, but nothing gets found. They're wasting time, and during this, KYXY farming at the mid lane, and Orange is going to back off, keep on farming themselves here in as safe a position as possible.
I love how they're farming their carries. They're not just having the supports in the jungle, they're keeping them protected. It was the Nyx Assassin in the trees there in case the dive came bottom, and then it's the middle lane where Lina was protecting the Queen of Pain. Now they smoke up, I think, just out of vision of this ward. Never mind, I guess not, because everybody from IG is here. Oh, this is not a good fight for Arn. Ravage on 3, vacuumed into the absolute butchery, the massacre. Zhou doesn't even have time to get off his third raise. Oh, man, that was Orange with a huge lead, just completely, not completely throwing it away, but just about. And now that means the BKB coming soon for Zhou, as well as Ferrari. Oh, God, it's walking up hills at this point in the game, when so many heroes are missing, always risky, and now we see why.
Yeah, absolute devastation from IG, and IG, it seems to be how they deal with Orange. Wait for the mistakes to happen. They're getting somewhat outplayed and just in the early game, but once Orange get ahead, they seem to not really make the right calls at times, and IG just so good at either, I wouldn't say finding the openings, but a lot of the time I think they make the openings come to them. I mean, they just position themselves on the high ground there on top of the hill. They're kind of predicting Orange's movements better than Orange can come mid-game time.
Oh no, this I don't like either. They're gonna jump. Maybe it will work out though. YYF, KYXY doesn't have the ult. He gets silenced. They get the kill anyway. The crucial hero pickup, this Ice. Ice playing that Lina without the burst damage of a support like Lina. That fight probably gets completely turned around. But in fact, because of that Lina, they find the kill, even though KYXY didn't really manage his mana perfectly. Didn't have enough for the ult, so they get a kill. Bit of a risky one. You could see, like you said, IG is trying to bait these mistakes. They had 3 heroes protecting that mid, but they underestimated the burst damage from Orange. They underestimated this Nyx Assassin. And now there's a Sentry Ward mid, and this is another benefit to the hero. It's like a bounty hunter. You kind of have to have Sentry Wards everywhere just to be prepared for when he shows up to gank.
Yeah, they're really getting proactive there as much as possible, and so far Nyx has had a decent impact. Been in 13 of these 17 kills, 2, 2, and 11. Xtinct to me, in some ways, has just been the unsung hero, the player for Orange who's just been playing so damn well throughout the entire tournament.
Zhou's gonna drop to this Mushi, gets the bash, that should be a kill. Need the Ice Pet to hit, it does. Zhou's alive on 50 HP and he'll survive, but this does force 2 TPs in top, during which time Orange are gonna capitalize, and this bottom tower may not drop, but it's gonna take quite a bit of damage. And as soon as he sees those heroes, Mushi's gonna go right back to farming. To me, this is how Orange wins this game, is not, despite having a hero like Naga, despite having some good AoE, I think IG's more reliant on it. You just spread out, you have more carries, you have more late game. Get your items up, don't force too many team fights. Once the BKBs are there, once the Naga's tanky enough that she can't be brought down, then you can force fights. I think this is the solution to IG's style of baiting them, is just not taking the bait, not forcing fights until much later on.
Yeah, IG have got to really be patient and hope that these teamfight openings come their way. And Orange, with this patience of their own, going for this more split push type of play, has really worked out for them so far. I mean, just chipping at the bottom tower, getting a pick, not even Mushi getting the pick off, but forcing Shadow Fiend back. It's slowing down his farm, slowing down his item progression. 20 minutes, no BKB. Not quite what IG were expecting with this safe lane Shadow Fiend.
Of course, IG has that killer team fight. If they ever find it, it doesn't necessarily matter if you have Song of the Siren, if you get chain stunned, if you get brought down. We've even seen fights where you don't kill the Naga, but you just kill all the supports while she's stunned before she can sleep. So it's no guarantee, but look at this. It's not just how they're farming, it's also how they're keeping vision up. Lane wards and sentry wards, so they can spot smokes coming of their own, so they know that IG doesn't have a lane ward. Using these illusions, not all at once, but one at a time. KYXY microing those to scout. And IG just forced into such a defensive posture, whereas Orange are just farming more efficiently. That's why we see the gold pulling ahead. The experience still pretty even, but Orange are perfectly okay with that. Especially after running an offensive tri-lane, normally the big downside is, even if you break even in terms of kills, you'd usually fall behind experience due to the pulls, but they're not, and now Mushi's almost got his BKB. This is going to be a BKB on the Queen of Pain and the Slaughter by around that 24-25 minute mark. Just such a close game. Both teams clearly employing a different style, and I gotta say, they're both playing it perfectly right now. This is exactly how both teams need to play.
Yeah, and it's still anyone's game. And IG, they want to do their best to force the team fights. The problem is when you've got this team fight lineup, Orange deal with it with this well-executed split push type of style. Even when IG they've got the Tide Ravage, they've got the Darkseer Wall, they've got Jakira with the ultimate up, the maxed out Ice Path on top of that, and it's still a scenario where Orange is just not going to fight into that. There's no way Orange take that fight. Orange going to give up a middle tower to IG, take down a tier 2 tower of their own. So it's actually Orange getting the better trades because they've got the more mobile lineup. They've got the ability to split push a lot more effectively than their opponents. And even if they get ganked, Yamateh pops the ultimate, they TP out.
And the only hero that maybe they could kill is Mushi, but now he's got a BKB, so that window to easily gank him is pretty much closed. The only way you're killing him is if you hit a Ravage and an Ice Path and perfectly time them. Otherwise, he gets the BKB off and he just sprints away. And the nice thing about the starter as well, which we didn't talk about too much during the draft, is he really makes heroes like Shadow Fiend and Night Stalker, who are normally very tanky once they get their BKBs up, much easier to kill. And to a point where they have a ton of minus armor. They've also got the Naga Siren Riptide, which means not only are those carries easier to kill, but the supports drop really fast. And I love this role reversal. The even bigger thing is kyxy playing a farming role. You can see he's just much better suited for it, leading the way in farm, and Mushi capable of handling that solo lane, capable of, you know, the difficult matchup of the Slardar versus a melee hero. Here comes the big wraparound. Here comes a big team fight. Xtinct's almost diving the base with the Vendetta. He's going to spot everything out. Initiate on Faith. Not sure if that's the correct choice, but the chain stun is there. Assassinated off the bat. The double BKBs. The bros going to work, but Zhou pops a BKB of his own. Perhaps they've overextended the sleep. Are they just going to run? No, they're going to fight this. Oh, Zhou unloads. Isn't enough. Hits the raise. Facing forward, hitting a hero that's slightly behind him. An overextension from Orange looking pretty bad so far. Yamateh wants to TP out. No vacuum. The raise brought down by the Void, and Orange overextend. It was the one way they could really throw away this lead, and GoDz, they're doing it again, at least a little bit. IG, good positioning, good defensive play, but Orange really forcing the issue, diving basically the tier 3 for that.
I mean, I think that was an okay decision from Orange. They killed the Tide so fast. They made sure they were safe about it too. Even if the Kraken comes in, helps him get the Ravage off. He hasn't actually got a single point in Kraken, which Orange, they may now realize. They may not have known there, but I mean, they killed the Tide. They had the better team fight. They popped the BKBs, but then later on, things fell apart when Tide buys back TPs in and Zhou gets his BKB off. They tried to fight the Shadow Fiend once they popped the Naga Siren ultimate, which is where things went downhill. And IG now picked themselves up in ages. Zhou gets himself up to 2k gold, and with this, it's going to get hard to fight later this game goes, because Zhou is farming a lot better than anyone on the Radiant team, and is a much stronger hero going late game, I feel, than heroes like Naga Siren.
It is. Now, the nice thing for Orange is it's not just one hero who has to do it alone. They've got 3 heroes that scale reasonably well. You've got the Slardar, the Naga, and the Queen of Pain. And kyxy is actually still leading that farm war, despite the Aegis going their way. It's mostly coming down to towers at this point. As far as last hits go, he's actually ahead by 20, so in every respect, kyxy is having a hell of a game. I really think Orange are still better off just playing it safe, getting their items up, and waiting for some opportunities instead of forcing fights under the tower. Like you said, assassinated the Tidehunter, but you're still standing next to a Shadow Fiend as your BKBs expire, and he's nailing everyone with Requiem of Souls. Plus, when you tower dive, that's where multiple ice paths can be landed. That's where your vacuum wall can really hurt. We didn't even see the full power of Darkseer yet. We haven't seen it in a team fight. If that happens during the tower dive, it's probably not 2 or 3 dead. It's probably the entire team.
Yeah, that's really the downfall for Orange when they take these fights and overextend. They're losing a lot more heroes, and they may lose Mushi at top. He doesn't want to pop his BKB. Very conservative play from him. And it turns out he doesn't actually need to. Just IG not going to fully commit to that, especially with that tower so close. But they realize there's no backup, at least not right now. And they're going to try to get this tier 1 tower and walk away with it.
They don't have the Nyx Assassin in position. Ferrari eats a scream, will be forced back. Nyx Assassin actually going to play it safe, not going to wrap around, and that's smart because there's a Sentry Ward in this lane, and he could easily get caught away from his team. kyxy voided, slowed down. They're kind of committing to this push. They really want to force Yamateh into the fight. Now he TPs. Probably Q for IG to back. Maybe not. They do have the BKB up on Ferrari. The sleep starts this one off. Where's the follow-up? Will they get a nice crush? Are they going to go in or are they going to leave? They kind of want some heroes to be left unslept, I believe. BKB from Yamateh, or Ferrari rather. Zhou unloads again, but the BKBs are keeping everyone alive. Look how far back those supports are. Macropyre as well. Ferrari finally mauls down that Naga Siren. Now caught out of position. Ferrari should pay. Beautiful Queen of Pain ult on 3. Now the Ravage to follow. Not enough follow-up. Mushi too low to fight, and 5 heroes about to be killed off. IG just pulling away with this game right now. Getting 4, going for the team wipe. Zhou on point with his raises. Oh, another fight going IG's way, and now the tides really have started to turn. Massive experience lead, and the gold graph is about to equalize.
IG is just such selfless players. I mean, you've got Ferrari there going in knowing he's probably going to die. Once his BKB, he commits. He knows once his BKB wears off, Orange can just pop him and kill him. But he's already got his team a kill or two. He goes down and he knows his team will clean up the rest, do the rest of the damage needed for his team. And it's really just selfless play. I mean, for solo mid players, I mean, you talk about your flashy solo mid players who would play a more selfish style of play. Ferrari is not one of those. He'll make sure his team comes first, and I mean, his team, they do the job there. Zhou cleans up with the help of the Darkseer, and it really was a fantastic fight for IG.
Speaking of selfless, just look at the minimap right now. Look at this dire vision. De-warding, making sure that Nyx Assassin can't spot up. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I think I missed this one. I think that's 9 wards on the map simultaneously. That's an insane amount of gold. Oh, they're going to fight Zhou. This is a nice pick-off to get. Chain stun should be there. Locked down and brought down. And that's the Aegis. They could even go on him again. Oh, maybe not. In comes Ferrari. They're going to be forced back. Xtinct doesn't have the ult anymore. KYXY jumps in, ushers them away. And they pop the Aegis, so all of a sudden some signs of life for a team that was just looking like they're on the verge of crumbling. Yamateh getting close to what looks to be a Manta. That'll make sure that Night Stalker Silence can't keep him down in team fights. Make sure he can get that sleep off. Orange are not out of this, but they just got to pull it together and find some picks like that.
And they can't rely too heavily on the Naga Siren ultimate as an initiation. They definitely can't rely on Vendetta. So far, the Sentry Ward placement has always been pretty much spot on. So it's going to come down to Mushi, maybe picking up a Blink Dagger as well at this point. They need some more mobility, even coming out from heroes like Lina or 4-star, anything they can get. And then the Sheepstick from KYXO, when they do go in, when they want to prevent heroes like Night Stalker, Shadow Fiend from getting off BKBs, they need a Sheepstick up. And it's, for me, Orange, if they can get this level of items up on all their heroes, I mean, just then they can fight IG. IG, it's less scary what's coming out from them, apart from maybe the Shadow Fiend, who is going to have what looks to be a butterfly very, very soon.
This is a little ballsy to rush a butterfly like this. If you get hexed by that Queen of Pain, the evasion does nothing for you. No Manta style, apparently not too concerned about just trying to juke some of these stuns or having that extra move speed. He's just going for this stand there and fight, stand and deliver kind of build. He does, like you said though, they have such selfless play from everyone else that it could work out wonderfully, and it helps to deal with the Slaughter's amplified damage. You're not guaranteed to get those auto attacks off unless the Hex is there. It's all going to come down to execution in these fights. Still, for me, anyone's game to win, and in spite of, well, experience-wise, it really is favoring IG, but the 3 really important heroes, the Slardar, the Naga Siren, and the Queen of Pain, all have quite a few levels.
Yeah, they've got the levels they kind of need here. I feel Yamateh needs to just go for more survival. I mean, he's picked up a Yash. I'd be surprised if he gets a full Manta style here. I don't feel it's an item that'll really help out his team. He's much better off going for something like a Heart of Taras, Diffusal Blade, even just something like a Lincoln Sphere, a late Lincoln Sphere can help against, I mean, Night Stalker silences, Tide Gushes, anything that you can block and help at this point and give you some additional survivability. DPS has to come from the Queen of Pain. The Starter Amp, I mean, even without DPS items, they're doing a lot of right-click damage just because the Starter Amp damage, the Queen of Pain, who's getting very, very high level as well as reach that level 16, and the Lina, Laguna Blade. So Orange, I feel, just need to get tanky, survivable items.
Well, IG are trying to force the issue mid. They do have the stronger Death Ball at this point, and with the Pipe and the Mech up on YYF, who, by the way, was getting out-farmed in the laning stage, but I mean, not really out of nowhere, but all of a sudden just has this massive teamfight items. This is where the push gets going. Zhou's just about got his butterfly. I'm guessing we're just going to see a buy it. They haven't shown much of a compulsion to save for buyback, neither team, and especially IG. Yamateh is going to get the tier 2 top, so tier 2 mid traded for tier 2 top, but they're going to let IG basically breach the high ground if they want to do so. Also, there's a Blink Dagger on Faith. If he gets a Blink Ravage, that could spell absolute disaster for IG, or for Orange, but not going to find it. And now Yamateh up to 3.6.
I mean, IG just playing completely Rambo Dota here. They're looking for KOX on the high ground. I mean, with the Blink Dagger on Tide, they've got the gem from Chuan dewarding as much as possible. And Ferrari, I mean, I love this Armored of Mordigian pickup. He's just going Rambo mode. He can pop the BKB. The armlet gives him extra HP as well to help him survive the right-click, the physical damage. It's really a neat little pickup, which I think really works in this game.
And it's very cost-efficient, too. You get so much strength. Almost as much as a heart when you toggle it on. Sure, you've got the degen aura, but it really only makes up for the amount of extra HP you get. I think it's over the course of like 20 seconds or so, at least 15 to 18, by which point the fight's normally won or lost, so it gives them some damage, also just lets him tank in these fights, and gives you some additional armor as well. Cost-effective, too. He gets more now or a little bit less now instead of perhaps a bit more later. And that's kind of what IG want. They've got all their core items. Sure, Shadow Fiend is probably the strongest single carry in this game, but it's not by a whole lot. He's not a Morphling in the previous patch, or something like a Faceless Void, where if he gets big enough, everybody's just gonna die to him. They can still deal with him late game with the Hex, with the BKBs. By the way, Xtinct, no Force Staff for him, no utility items, just going for the burst damage. He's got the Stagon picked up.
I'm a bit surprised by it. Not what I would have expected, but I guess, like you say, it's all about the burst damage. I mean, they want to kill a hero, whether it's Shadow Fiend or Night Stalker, before they pop BKB. When they initiate with the stun, they want to kill him, which is going to come from a Dagon and Laguna Blade. They have to use it instantly while the chain stun is going on, but it's very all-in for me. It's a bit too all-in for my liking. Orange, they don't really have a backup plan for if it doesn't work.
As far as backup plans go, let's check buyback right now. It's only Darkseer has it. Everybody's all in with their item selections. If this is the climactic fight, nobody else can rejoin it. There's no Aegis up. IG are going to force the issue right now, 2 minutes before the Aegis respawns. Or maybe not. I think they think better of it, probably recognize it's about to come back. And also just the split push. It's not just how Orange win games, but it's how a lot of these Southeast Asian teams sort of prevail in longer scale games. We see it a lot from MUFC and definitely from the Pinoy teams, is split push and just having multiple mobile carries get insanely farmed. They're trying to stall this game out, and so far, it's working.
It's working really well, and I feel this stall from Orange, the fact they're pushing out these lanes and managing to continually force IG to come back defend and come back defend. It's buying time, and you've got the Sheepstick on Queen of Pain, but Queen of Pain would love another item, so would the Slider, with the Drum of Endurance, 1600 gold, that could be a Blink Dagger coming soon. And, I mean, it's a matter of IG, even with this Shadow Fiend in the late game, they're not necessarily going to take this if it's going to be Orange just sort of moving the map around with this split push. They've just got such a great aggressive lineup.
Oh, top lane, YYF gets caught. There's the burst damage. A rare moment where YYF gets picked off. You almost never see that, but that's the Nyx Assassin. They got a little bit, I don't want to say lazy, but they got lax with the sentry wards. How many? We saw, what, 10 wards before? Now there's 1 on the map. I think these supports went back for some items. Chuan has the gem. He's even got a point booster. Boy, would they love to have that net of sentry wards. Then it's probably the Nyx Assassin and Yamateh who are in danger. Instead, they find a pickoff, which buys them more time. Mushi applying pressure in that bottom lane. Middle lane, it's KYXY, backed up by 2 supports. This split push, it's surprisingly difficult to execute against a team like IG, who has so much mobility and chasing power between Surge and the Night Stalker alone. So far, they're just not getting picked. In fact, they're creating opportunities all of their own.
Yeah, it's one of those amazing things about the Nyx Assassin with this split push style. It sort of gives them the possibility. Not only are they farming with their split push, they get a kill here and there. They send one hero, they say, okay, Naga Siren split push from top alone. Darkseer can go deal with that. But no, Nyx Assassin is there. Nyx Assassin gets them a kill, and then they go back to the split push. So it's a well-executed strategy from Orange, and IG are going to have to really be aware of that. They can't always just send one hero back to deal with a push, because there could be Nyx invis, there could be more heroes backing him up. Orange are really just mixing things up. They're not going for a steady, always 4-1 split. Sometimes it's 3-2, sometimes it's a 2-2-1. They're just mixing things up, and IG are struggling to deal with it because of that.
Right, they don't know what to expect, and normally when you go for aggressive ganks, when you find pickoffs, it's because the enemy team has become too predictable. That's why you're able to do it. Now, the lead farmer is Zhou, and he's up to 2,900 gold. I assume Manta Style will be the next choice, but we'll see. It could even just be something like Lifesteal. Maybe just even going for a Daedalus, just going for that raw right-click power, but I think Manta Style in this game, very helpful to dodge spells, just to give you another kind of escape mechanism and confuse Orange in these team fights. IG just unable to find this team fight. They've had all their team fight items and abilities, and up for a long time. The blink on the Tidehunter, the double BKBs. Ice might finally get caught, but even then, it's only Alina. By no means is it a core hero. And another thing to point out is even if Orange die, they're fighting so far on the enemy side of the river that the chances of IG turning that into Rax are pretty slim. They should be able to get Roche off of a couple kills, but that's it. Not a Rax. Not at this point in the game.
Yeah, Roshan going to be a highly contested point, I imagine, over the next few minutes now that it's back up and running. IG do have this ward. They've actually got it on the other side of the river, maybe in range of the Sentry Ward, but it's not where Orange would expect it to be, at least. And, but really, look at this. Orange trying so hard to D-ward. Yeah, it is in range, but it's Lina getting caught out of position here. IG, they jump, they pounce, and this is the kind of opening IG are waiting for. With one hero pick off, even a hero like Lina, they can look to maybe take Roshan themselves. They're dewarding as well with this gem on THD.
Don't do it, KYXY. Wisely not going to go in on the show, because the backup was there. And even now, they're probably getting this... Oh, they actually pick off the Darkseer again! What a play! And YYF continues to get picked off. Xtinct actually inside of Vendetta, and he's hiding beautifully in the trees. The gem is here. How did they find him so quickly? Xtinct just instantly brought down, even after getting that kill. 2 supports now dead, but traded for the Darkseer. I think a halfway decent trade, and now, more importantly, the pressure coming top. Look at the creep equilibrium. Even when they're dying, they're still pushing these lanes. They're farming enough that I don't know if they're even falling behind when they give up these kills, and the gold graph seems to suggest they're not.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of fight where Orange, I mean, they're out pushing their opponents. They traded Jakiro for a Darkseer, which at this point in the game is sort of a null trade. If anything, it's slightly better for Orange because the Nyx Assassin, one of their sort of underfarmed heroes, and I mean, Darkseer going down. It's a level 17 hero. Gives some good XP, some decent farm, gets Mushi, helps him get his next big item up, which I believe he must have bought by now. He hasn't bought anything in a good while now. I think he's got some components, maybe a plate mail starting an assault crest on the courier. So a lot of big items coming up for Orange with Aghanim Scepter as well coming for Queen of Pain. I think this is a smart item. Having the short cooldown ultimate means it can be spammed a lot more in these fights.
Even getting it this late, just pushing out lanes if your team starts losing fights, allowing you to split push faster. Such a useful item, and in a game like this, BKBs are getting to that 5-second cooldown, so maybe you have to hold on to your ult, or you use it once and it gets blocked, but then you survive, you buy back, you come back, you have that ult again, and Xtinct will get caught out. A rare moment of bad positioning, at least so far this game. He'll be brought down, but again, definitely don't want to be giving up kills, especially in a hero like the Nyx, who I feel is a little bit more important at this stage, but they're still pushing mid, they're pushing top. They do give up the Aegis. KYXY actually a little bit late to react. He's getting caught by the Ice Path. Now will be forced to BKB and blink away and TP out, and will do so. But they do force a crucial BKB charge out of him.
Yeah, I feel like we may see Ferrari picking up another Basher this game, something to help deal with those BKB TPs. And Basher would be a great way to do that, and it's going to be up to Orange to keep trying to avoid these kills while split pushing. They have to avoid death. If they give away kills, it's not going to work too well for them. And Yamateh at top lane is just looking to keep on pushing out this lane, harassing Zhou as much as possible. Zhou, who has got a completed Manta style, though. Yeah,
and Yamateh is getting close to his next item. Probably the Heart. I assume that's what we're going to see from him, and he's not far off. He's got the Reaver. He's just about got the Vitality Booster. So far, have we seen any hero saving for buyback? Couple on IG, and only the Naga for the moment who's saving for buyback on Orange. Seems like it's more important for IG just because of where the creeps are. If they lose a fight, they might be losing Rex, but Orange, not so clear that they will. Yamateh's hasted, he's going to surge in, and now look to run away, vacuum back into the void, into the Ice Path that catches him. He's got to use that BKB, he's got to pop it now, he will. Where's the Crush? Crushes too, TP's out immediately. No Basher up on the Nightstalk, and he gets away, and even when they're forced to use these BKBs, the other lanes are getting pushed, they're still farming. I think they're being a little bit reckless, but it's not working out too poorly so far.
And once again, the split push continues. Naga-san goes to push top, and Xtinct is there once again. It's that second hero there to back him up, maybe look for a kill. If Shadow Fiend comes to push it out, Xtinct is there to get the kill. Even with an Aegis, getting rid of that Aegis at this point in the game could be big, and Xtinct doing his best to scout things out. Doesn't want to go too close, because Jakiro does have that gem up.
Like you said, the Assault Cuirass is coming real soon for Mushi. He's only 500 gold away. They've got the Aghanim Scepter up on the Queen of Pain. I wonder if IG feel any sense of urgency. Also, not to mention the fact that the Aegis isn't going to last forever. In fact, it's only got another 4 minutes, which sounds like a long time. But it's not when you consider that Orange are always pushing all the lanes. So until you find these picks, you can't push, and that clock winds down a little bit quicker than you might expect. Just really smart play from Orange, and IG's such a complete team that if anyone can figure out a way around kind of like this box that Orange has stuffed them into, it'll be IG, but how are they going to do it? Is it a smoke? Is it just a bait of some kind to set up, a little bit of over-aggression from Orange? So far, they haven't tipped their hands.
IG have managed to do a good job of out-leveling their opponents by having Orange. I mean, they're spending a lot of time, these supports especially, just roaming around, looking for those openings for kills. And as a result, IG, I mean, they're pulling ahead in those level departments, but the gold, I mean, it's pretty much dead even at 40 minutes into this game. I mean, Orange have just played this so smart. And, I mean, you mentioned, are IG worried? I feel like they should be a lot more worried than they're acting right now. With an Assault Cuirass on Slaughter, with Queen of Pain, with an Aghanim Scepter, and now, I mean, has buyback gold, probably going to see another big item coming up soon, like a Shiver's Guard.
No.
I mean, this is a scary level of items.
That courier doesn't have the... Oh, it's going to surge away just barely. That had a completed Assault Cuirass, and if that died at this moment, Could have been a catastrophe. It's such an important item to have for this upcoming team fight. IG, they're going to make their move. They sense the lanes aren't quite pushed enough. Mushi frantically scrambling top. He's going to be forced to TP back immediately, though. The push is coming, and I don't have enough momentum to avoid this team fight any longer. Maybe they do, though. Mushi's really trying. It's a game of chicken at this point. Who's going to blink first? IG not reacting so far. Night Stalker has a Reaver up and a Vlad. Just all about the armor, the pushing power, negating that Slardar's amplified damage as much as possible. KYXY will remove those illusions. Glyph is going to wear off. Yamateh throws in the net. Are they going to use the sleep to initiate? Not just yet. Mushi's trying to force them back. He's going to work on the tier 3. A bit of a base trade. Now Zhou potentially getting stuck, caught out of position. Shockingly, KYXY didn't use the Hex there.
Orange are going to force TPs back. I think Orange, Orange about to say, they're forcing TPs back. Mushi's going to get himself a tower here. The great stall. I mean, yamateh just sending illusion after illusion in, dropping Queen of Pain ultimates with the short Aghanims cooldown, and they managed to hold. Mushi even gets the tier 3 tower at bottom.
The balls on this guy to stay there and just hope that your opponents can't push fast enough, and the presence of mind from Orange to stay back, don't give any easy pickoffs. And this is sort of the struggle for IG. How do you go high ground? You have an amazing defensive lineup, but you don't have a fantastic single target initiator to get you that 5v4. You don't have a Beastmaster. You don't have a Batrider. You kind of are forced. You win a team fight when Orange initiates on you, 5v5. But if they don't, how do you get those pickoffs, those crucial kills that you have to man up, especially going high ground? It's feeling very challenging, and, well, they're going to smoke. This is one way to try and do it. Will KYXY get caught? Again, even if any of these carries get caught, they just BKB and TP out, and there's no answer for that. It's only the supports that can really die to a smoke gank.
Yeah, it really is, and IG, they're trying to force something to happen here. They're looking for this Naga sign. Oh, not going to get the cancel.
Oh.
Very close here, but he still, I mean, he has the ultimate. You can just use that and TP out, even if they do manage to catch him. And I mean, yamateh with an MKB trying to get items to go through the evasion on the Shadow Fiend. I'm not convinced by this item. But I think he just feels he has to go DPS, and DPS is going to be the way to help take this to the late game.
Shadow...
I mean, even with Slardar and the Queen of Pain, I mean, he says, okay, we need more DPS.
That Shadow Fiend is absolutely going to melt. If the amplified damage is there and Naga Siren is auto-attacking him, I would say 3 or 4 seconds at most to bring him down. It's not just amplified damage, it's the Assault Caress and the Riptide. That is a disgusting amount of minus armor. And the Butterfly...
BKB. I mean, you've got amp damage, which can be cast through BKB, and Snare gets cast through BKB, so they can keep him in place, and they can lower his armor by a ridiculous amount. The only thing that won't go through is that Riptide.
Here comes Xtinct, wants to start the fight. Can they kill YYF at the word go? In comes Mushi as well. Gotta pop that BKB. No, he doesn't. The Ice Path whiffs, is not gonna connect on him. YYF, does he have buyback? Will they pay for this? Mushi running back in, out again. Maybe gonna get caught. Blink in, Ravage on 2. Mushi, they need to bring him down. He's got this double damage rate. He doesn't have the BKB. He'll die. He does a buyback, immediately forces it out of him, and Darkseer, no buyback for YYF, so they might be able to go try and win the game now. But do you want to risk it with no BKB on the Slardar? Do you want to throw everything potentially away into a game-ending push when you don't have buyback with your Slardar, when your team seems better equipped to just play kind of a starvation mode Dota? There is no Ravage either. That's another consideration. Orange appear...
I think Orange are just going back to their same style. Mushi goes bottom, so it says he buys back just to keep on applying pressure and keep on split pushing. He's not looking to buy back to go for a game-ending push here.
Yeah, playing it the smart way, and I think this is the correct way to do it. All the lanes are just constantly in IG's base. They desperately need something like a Hex, but who builds it? Maybe the Darkseer. Voidstone picked up. Without a Hex, how do you initiate on these heroes? Mushi only died there because he blew his BKB to kill off YYF, and so by the time he dies, he's already gotten the kill. And so even if they kill Mushi, it's a bit of an even trade. In fact, Mushi's going to break high ground. They don't have any sentry wards, so they have that gem still up on chuan. They do. In comes Xtinct. He'll get silenced. Mushi gets cut out. Now the BKBs from both heroes. Crush not going to do anything. Going to work on Zhou. They're not really team fighting, but what they are doing is pushing that top lane with the Naga Siren. Mushi to drop. Doesn't have buyback. The counter initiation. KYXY just unfurls his wings. Drops a nice ult, but is it enough? They really committed to that fight. They lose 3 heroes. One of them doesn't have buyback. Does KYXY have it? 4,000 gold. They're losing fights, but are they winning the game? They did take some damage on the tier 3. I don't really think a great trade, but perhaps if they executed a bit better, could have gone differently.
Well, I mean, Orange, the graph says they're still ahead in terms of gold. The XP at this point in the game is somewhat redundant. I mean, most of the heroes in the game have their key levels. KYXY decides he needs to buy back, and I think this is just to start counter-pushing these lanes, maybe drops an ultimate to slow down the push, get that cooldown rolling. And IG, they're just marching towards mid lane. Mushi, no buyback on Slider. That's the one big hero missing. And Darkseer, he hasn't got his ultimate up, but he's just sort of helping deal with this top lane push. He's the one soloing up against Yamateh at the top lane. Maybe going to look to cancel the TP of Yamateh before he goes back to defend.
Do you want to base trade against a Naga Siren? Sort of like an anti-mage for the battlefield in terms of how much pressure and how quickly you can apply it, or even a Prophet for that matter. And it looks like they're not going to. They're forced back. Again, a decent engagement for them. You could even argue they came out ahead there. But what does ahead translate into for this team? Right now, it's just some gold and items. It's not racks. It's not even tier 3s. I don't even think they hit the tower once there.
It's no damage done whatsoever by IG at the mid lane, but I mean at the same time Orange didn't do too much at top. I mean Naga Siren was forced back bit by bit, and we're going to go back to that bit of a stalemate. Orange are going to be the ones who have to make something happen, have to push out these lanes. The next big fight though could come near Roshan respawning in about a minute's time. IG would love to get that on the Shadow Fiend again. Having that peace of mind allows them to be much more aggressive and take much bigger risks with how they push out the lane, and also how they try and go and end the game with their group up and pushes.
He's getting so big that the only way they can kill Zhou, it seems at this point, is if Naga Siren and Slaughter both jump him. But when you jump him, when you clump up with these, which these three melee heroes tend to do, that's where the wall really hurts you. That's where the Requiem of Souls can do a lot of damage if the BKBs aren't there. Can they kill Zhou if he's got this Aegis? I'm not so sure they can. This, especially with also getting the cheese, most likely in Ferrari, could sell that urn now, spamming that ult. And let's actually check buybacks. A good time to do it. Shadow Fiend's got buyback, and the Naga Siren does. Two important heroes, but a lot of key heroes that don't have buyback right now. They're going to force this fight. Mushi charges in, has a haster, chain stun, doesn't get the BKB off. Mushi is dead. Oh, what a disaster for Orange. They needed that BKB to go off, and now the mauling begins. Night Stalker clubbing away. BKB from kyxy. Meanwhile, yamateh not quite able to breach that high ground. YYF actually dropped the wall just to ensure that the base would stay alive, and now they get the Roshan, they get the Aegis, they get the cheese. IG is doing it again. They're just making the better decisions in the late game. They're catching Orange a tiny bit out of position. The hand speed just split seconds faster.
Yep.
Perfect chain stun. They bring down Mushi, and without him, there was no chance in that fight.
And once again, it's the support players from IG just making things happen in the late game. Chuan's Ice Path was what was the first stun onto Slider. Slider goes charging in. Chuan immediately hits him with the Ice Path. Ravage follows it up. I mean, even using the Ravage just to make sure they kill the Slider there is crucial. With Slider out, no Assault Crest, no BKB popped, and no damage done at all by Orange. It's already a lost fight, and IG now marching down the middle lane. They feel they can take this, even with Ravage on cooldown. The Darkseer Wall of Rep on cooldown. They are just so confident they can end this game here, or at least get a set of Raxes at mid.
kyxy is going for the shotgun quad build. Will he get this Ethereal Blade up? Not clear. Blinks in onto Chuan, and that's going to spell the end of this engagement for a moment's time at least. There comes the Ice Pad. Nice chain stun. Actually not quite perfect. Ferrari dropping low. Ferrari going to be okay. He's just so damn tanky. Almost 4,000 health. 21 armor. Just such an absolute whale to bring down. Even for heroes with quite a bit of damage items, but they're going to force the fight again. Here comes the Boots of Travel from the Shadow Fiend. Could go the other way. Is there going to be a sleep from yamateh? It's only got a minute cooldown. Maybe you just want to drop it now. Mushi, still no BKB. Instantly assassinated is the Lina. Now onto kyxy. They're just not reacting quickly enough, and Orange are getting picked apart one by one and impale on 3. But where's the follow-up? Mushi charges in. BKB is still here. He's hasted. What are they waiting for? Queen of Pain doesn't have buyback for a minute. They can't wait for this buyback. That could be 2 or 3 lanes of Rex. Still, IG marching forward, mauling away on the Rex, chopping them down. Mushi charges in again, vacuum back. Where's the BKB? Doesn't even matter anymore. The song just to stall, I feel, could have used that much earlier, and it would be most of the way back to cooldown at this point. And IG, the troops just keep on marching. Even Ferrari is just absolutely butchering these racks. And IG are doing it. They're winning the late game team fights. They're coming back from what was a rather serious deficit, and it seemed like a box. Yeah. They just punched 20 holes in it and marched forwards. And I just don't know if Orange can stop it anymore. This is 2 lanes of racks. They still have the Aegis. They still have the cheese. This might be the game.
A fantastic business for IG, and the limitations of Slider in the late game really being shown. Getting kited around, not even getting a chance to use his BKB. He does get it off this fight. Can they bring down Zhou? Even if they kill him once, they've got to kill him twice. He's got the Aegis. Faith taking a heap of damage. The Gouda Blade on him, it's not enough, and Zhou just says, thanks very much, guys. Huge team fight. Everything going IG's way. The Rax is the game. GG from Orange. IG take game 2. They take the series. They are going to be in the top 4, the LAN finals in Fuzhou, China for the G1 League.
Unleash the beast. That's all that needs to be said. That should have been the key point of this game, was just let Ferrari jump in there. You know what amazes me about Ferrari's Night Stalker is he often has night times where he doesn't do anything, where he's just flummoxed and stymied, and Arch did that this game. But he farms so well. It's one of the few players who can play Night Stalker and come out with big items in the late game, balancing your ganking time with your farming time, being as efficient as possible. They played this one perfectly. They really didn't slip up more than maybe once or twice. In the laning stage, and Orange played such... We said, go for the offensive tri-lane. Try something different, and it worked in the laning stage. They were ahead both games at the start. They were winning their solo lanes. Queen of Pain was winning mid. Everything went perfectly for Orange at the start. But it's one thing to have a good start against IG, and it's another thing to close the deal entirely. And despite what the game is telling you, this is IG taking game 2, like you said, securing their place at the LAN final. So we won't see anything more from this team for about a week. But boy, they've earned the break, they've earned the recuperation, and this is a fearsome force. I thought Orange might be the one team, aside from DK, who could really bring IG to their knees, have a strong shot at defeating them. Just not able to put it together in the end. Game 2 goes to IG. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up for game number 2. That's it for today's G1 League coverage. This was a clean 2-0 sweep from IG, taking down Orange in a 2-game series, not even going to 3. And well, we'll have to see who's able to advance in those other sort of final 4, and that other out of those top 4 teams, who else is going to move forward. We'll find out tomorrow. For today, that wraps up our coverage. Guys, I think we could do a little post-game breakdown now. I see you getting your webcam ready. But before we do that, we're going to run the quick outro here. So stay tuned, guys. Post-game analysis, maybe even an interview or an appearance from Bruno coming up soon.